Welcome to the Private Practice Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Brooklyn Storm, here to help you unlock the mind, business, and spirit of your private practice success. So whether you're just starting out or you're looking to grow, this is the place for you if you really want to create a thriving private practice. Before we dive in, I want to share something that can really make a difference in your business. Imagine having an expert in your pocket, someone available on demand whenever you need guidance. Well, that's exactly what my new program, Practice Momentum, offers. With over 30 years of experience at your fingertips, you can now get the support you need whenever you need it. Curious? Head over to brooklynstorm.com to learn more. And now let's get into today. Welcome to another episode of the Private Practice Podcast. Super pleased that you're here. Welcome back to, I want to say existing listeners. Thank you for pushing play again. And also welcome to newbies. It's so nice to have you in my world. And I hope that you love it here and find this podcast to be a really useful resource for you. Today, I'm going to talk you through your Facebook business page and help you understand a little bit about what's going on with it. Because I think what happens is, you know how you see people on YouTube and they show you how to draw a tree and they do 4 different trees, and one tree is really basic. It's like a stick figure, excuse the pun. It's like a stick figure. And then the next one might be a little bit more detailed. The third one is a little bit more detailed. And the fourth one is just Van Gogh level tree. I think what happens is when we're thinking about how do we use social media effectively to raise visibility about who we are, what we do, who we help, so that we can help more people. I think so many of us just look at that big tree and then we're trying to figure out the big Van Gogh type tree, and we're trying to think, oh my gosh, it's so complicated. I don't know what to do. And so we just start kind of having a go at drawing the complicated tree before we've learned how to draw the stick figure version first. I don't know if that made any sense at all. Hopefully it did. Hopefully you're with me and you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so I get this all the time. It happens in my community. It happens in other communities that I'm being a part of as well. It's a typical post, a typical comment that goes something along the lines of, hey, there's things happening, maybe it's a special day of the year, maybe it's a special event, something like that. And, people get inspired therapists get inspired to post on their business page. But the problem is that they don't have many likes on it. Okay. So they worry that if they, let's say it's Mental Health Week, for example. So they worry, if I go and post every single day, no one's really going to see it because I don't have that many likes. And then they will usually from there go to something like, how do I get people to like my page? And they might say something like, I have tried asking people to go and like my page. I go in other communities. I join the follow trains, It happened in my community as well, right? And so for the longest time, I didn't allow them. I'll tell you why. Yeah, I'm just going to digress for a moment. Yeah, so the reason I don't love the follow train, a follow train is when there's a post that goes up in a community and it says, share your Instagram, or share, in this case, your Facebook business page below, and go and like 3 others. Now, normally what happens is 2 things, okay? Number 1, most people will just drop their page and they don't go and follow other people, okay? I don't know why, it just happens. I know because I'm a researcher and I love to go and check stuff. So when I see people, they will say, yep, here's my business page, and I've gone and liked 3 others, but there's only 4 ahead of theirs in the follow train. It's easy enough for me to go and click on those other people's business pages and see the followers, and I can see person number 4 did not go and follow the others. So yeah, it doesn't work for that reason. And the other reason why it doesn't work is because, depending on what your niche is and other services that your business might be providing, it doesn't really help to have, your competition following you, or other well, I don't really believe in competition. I think there's space for everybody, but you know what I'm saying? Like having other private practices follow you isn't ideal because they're not going to buy from you. Unless, again, depending on what you're selling. I mean, if you're also offering supervision and if you're also offering, I don't know, PD courses and stuff like that, go for it. But we're talking about being in solo private practice here. So it's not going to get you anywhere. So I really don't like those follow chains. I did allow one in my group recently, like I think maybe within the last 3 or 4 weeks. And the reason I did that was just because so many people were asking for it. And I just thought, yeah, okay, it's been a hot minute since we've done one. So I just did one. And it was good for engagement in my group and it boosted the algorithm. And I got new members join the group because the group got shared to more people because of the level of engagement. So you see what I'm saying? Like business head, it works, but in terms of, for me as a group owner, it works, sure. But for you as a woman in solo practice, I'm just saying woman because all my clients are women and I know that 80% of our industry is, but I also appreciate the space for everybody. But yeah, anywho, so it doesn't work. And then they might say something like, what else can I do? I'm also trying to post on community pages, Brooklyn, but they will only let me do one promo post a week, and that's not even working. So I really want to understand how to, attract and engage new clients, but without all of the likes on my page, there is just no point in me even posting. And then they'll say something like, how have those of you with a business page on here gotten your likes? So I want to strip it right back for you to that very basic stick figure tree so that you can understand, because without having that understanding, you're just going to keep posting and getting the same results, right? And we want to change that. I want to help you change that. So right back to basics. The purpose of a Facebook business page is so that you can verify that you're a legitimate business with Meta, and Meta can run ads to its platform on your behalf in exchange for payment. So the whole reason that Facebook is free is because of business pages paying for ads and also paying for boosts and paying for verified tick subscriptions and things like that. So the whole point of the business page is really not to, you get very, very limited exposure with a business page. It is really just there as a stepping stone that Meta require from all businesses who want to run ads. That's it. You get a lot more reach when you post on your personal profile. So it's important that you understand the context, okay? It's really just a placeholder, that business page. It's highly unusual that people would get, consistent and regular inquiries or bookings from clients from a Facebook business page. People will, if they find you on social media or if they're maybe in a community group and somebody gives you a shout out and they say, hey, Sally was a really awesome therapist. She really helped me with my grief, loss and trauma. Let me go and find her link. And that person, recommends you and you get this word of mouth sort of thing happening. Then people will go and click the link to your business page. But even then, they're just kind of using that to verify that you're alive and kicking, okay? Most of your clients are going to find you through Google and they're going to find you through your website, which is why I do the website wellness checks. And if you have a website and it's not getting inquiries or it's not getting a consistent flow of inquiries or bookings, I would love to be able to diagnose what's going wrong over there so that you can fix it. And if you'd like my help with that, of course, let me know. You can visit the website brooklynstorm.com and go and find more information. But anyway, they're going to find you usually through a Google search. And what's going to happen is they'll be typing in whatever it is that they want help with. And then Google is going to quickly scan, kind of like me at lunchtime standing in front of the fridge Google's going to do a quick scan and it's going to find all the websites that match the exact words and phrases and terms that your potential client has put in with websites that have them. Okay. And hopefully your website is SEO optimized and your page will be shown. And then what's going to happen is that potential client is going to look at a bunch of different websites because they want to know what's out there. They want to pick and choose. They want to see the right one for them and things like that. So I just want you to understand like what the purpose of a Facebook business page is. Understand it's got really low reach despite you posting every single day. You could post every single day and it would still have really low reach and it would have really low conversions because that's just how it is. So manage your expectations. If you're wanting clients, I would focus on the website first, okay? Once the website is bringing you that consistent stream of inquiries and hopefully bookings, you can do less on your socials, all right? It's always good to have a presence, but you don't have to do it as often, all right? Now, the thing about posting promo posts on community pages. So here we're talking about, like I live in the Mornington Peninsula. There are quite a number of community pages here, and there are some of them that let you do promo posts. But again, it's limited, right? You can do one promo post a week. The problem with that is, again, it's not going to get many clients unless you're, there are things that you need to know. Like you have to have like a really compelling visual. And if you don't understand what that means for your audience, then that's going to be really difficult for you. You need to know what to write in the ad. Sometimes, and it happens here in my area too, sometimes therapists will just put a post up that says, I've got availability in the evenings now. It's like, okay, big deal. So what? Who cares? Like, who do you work with? What are the fees? Can you help me with this? Like there's nothing in there. They just put up that post and then they put it up every Monday at 7:00, let's say, for example. And so it's the same post going up like week on week. And they will come to me and say, Brooklyn, I'm posting on socials. I'm not getting any. And then I'll go and have a look at it. I'm like, well, that's why. Like there's not enough context. So community pages, if you're doing promo posts, just be careful not to make them look like promo posts. And it's probably a whole other, if you hear some scratching away, I'm just making note to self because I might do, don't make it look like a promo post. Sorry, I'm just writing that down. I might get to record a second episode while I'm here because Buddy is off at Diamonds in the Rough, Buckingham Palace. His doggy daycare closed down a few weeks ago and he needs new doggy daycare. And I took him to Diamonds in the Rough for grooming last week and turns out that they're going to be starting doggy daycare. So he's off there this morning having his assessment to make sure he's going to be a good boy and play nicely with the other dogs. So I've got the office to myself free of barking for the next hour. So yeah, I might be able to record that podcast for you straight after this one. Hopefully I can. Anyway, yeah, you need to understand, of course, what to post, and it's got to not look like a promo post. Then you've got, apart from community pages, you've also got community groups, right? So again, just using my own location as an example, there are community groups here. So there's one down the road where I used to live in Hastings. I think it's just called the Hastings Community Forum or something like that. Yeah, and you can go in there and it's for all the locals and you can put stuff, share stuff, But again, like you've got to understand what to post and how to post. Just being in there and throwing up a generic post won't get you a client, okay? So anyway, the strategy to that, and I will absolutely cover it in the next episode. But for now, we're focusing on what can you do to try and get some inquiries coming through from your business page. Now, somebody was also asking me recently, should I go live on my business page? And here's what I want to tell you about that. Ages ago, well, not really that long ago, I think it was 2016, so 9 years ago, Facebook Lives were just starting, right? They're pretty new. They were just starting. And I did build my following through my Facebook Lives, okay? So it was because back then, maybe because it was new, like Facebook was just sharing the lives everywhere. And my audience went from zero, because I was a very late comer to Facebook. Like, I don't think I even got a Facebook business page or a Facebook account until then. But yeah, I got thousands of followers all then. From about a 12-month period, I was going live regularly. Like, I did a 90-day vlog. And so every day for 90 days, I went onto my Facebook business page. I did a quick video, went for like 3 minutes or something like that. And then did it the next day, and I got thousands of followers. But now I can do a video on my Facebook business page and it will barely get any reach. And it's not because I'm doing, crappy videos or anything like that. It's just because everything's changed with Facebook. All right. So I don't think that you need to post every single day on your Facebook business page to get a client, but I do think you need to know what to post. And for that reason, I did make a free training. You can go and get it. Actually, it's on my business page. But I made that was just pure coincidence, by the way. I made a free training. It goes for like 5 minutes and it shows you exactly how to write a post that gets you clients. And I also sent out an email earlier this week that broke it all down in even more detail. I shared the post. I got a notification from Meta going, hey, this is amazing content. We love it. We've rewarded you with like bonus reach and everything because your content was that good. Well, that's how I'm interpreting it, but they use more professional language than that. And so I thought, okay, well, what did I do? And I wanted to break it down so that I could give you the formula as well. So if you want to see it, it's over on my Facebook business page. You can get the training. I made you a template. I made your worksheet, and yeah, it's all broken down there. So you just need to know what to post. I think that is probably the biggest thing. But what I'm going to do now is just read you some of the, general feedback that people will say to someone who's asking, how do I get more likes on my Facebook page? All right. So people would say stuff like, and I'm just going to get my notes. People will say, oh, get your friends and family to go and like everything. No, don't get your friends and family to go and like your Facebook business page, because what's going to happen is they will go and like your Facebook business page, and then for a little while they will see your posts coming up in their feed and they might like them and stuff like that. But over time they'll stop. And then what's going to happen is your reach will diminish. Okay. So I wouldn't bother with that. Somebody else said, if you post regularly, it's going to work with the algorithm gods and put your page in front of more people. Well, no. In short, the answer is no, because again, if it's crappy content, Facebook will not share it. What the algorithm likes is not the amount of times you post. What the algorithm likes is the amount of time somebody spends reading your post, whether or not somebody comes back to it, whether or not somebody shares it, whether or not somebody saves it. So all this stuff, and you don't see it happening, right? Because it's happening kind of behind the scenes. maybe you might see if somebody shares a post, but you don't see when somebody saves it. You don't see how long somebody spends reading it. You don't see if somebody comes back to it. You don't see if somebody screenshots it. But Facebook track all of these things. So there is no correlation between the number of times that you post on your Facebook business page and the amount of reach you get. The correlation happens with engagement, right? And that engagement is not likes or hearts or follows or anything like that. It's time. All right. It's time, it's saving, it's returning to it and things like that. So again, people are just kind of saying, make sure you've asked all your friends and ask your friends to invite their friends. No, we don't do that. Bad advice. And somebody else was sort of saying, you should do ads because ads will help you get more likes on your Facebook business page. Well, again, I wouldn't run ads to a Facebook business page. What I would do is be intentional about what's the purpose here. And the purpose is, in this case, to get clients, right? Or to get potential clients. And as I said before, they're not going to be looking for you on Facebook. So I think you don't have to spend any money running ads if you just go and fix your website. People are going to find you and you'll get your clients. The other thing that's really important to remember too, and I was talking to one of the ladies in Momentum about this during the week when I was helping her with her socials. And one of the things that I mentioned was, sorry, I've just lost it. I've just lost it. I'll come back to it. Okay. Anyway, then somebody else started a follow train. How about we all start liking each other's pages and then people start commenting. Here you go. Someone else was saying, go and look at your insights. Just because people haven't liked your post doesn't mean they haven't seen them. It's definitely a slow build. Again, I just wouldn't bother building a Facebook business page profile. Someone else was saying that they post every day on Instagram and it's starting to build, but it's taken 18 months. It should not take 18 months, right, for it to build. If you know what to post, you can do it a lot more quickly than that. And there is no correlation between, that's what I was saying to my client. She was like, there's no in Momentum. She was saying, not many people are liking my post. But when we actually broke things down, we saw that she is getting clients from her posts and that the clients often don't like or heart or comment. Exactly what I've told you so many times before. We were able to identify that in her process as well. And this is the other thing that came up in Momentum when I was talking to somebody else about her social media and getting clients. When I looked at how she was posting and the content, what she was doing there, I could see straight away what the issue was. It was like all of her content was targeted towards people who were she was like really wanting them to book in. And she was like, come and book in. That was like her call to action on everything. Speaking to that person, start now, learn now, begin today, all of this kind of stuff. But she didn't know, and maybe you don't either, I don't know. So I'm just going to share it with you because hopefully it will help you. Again, you've got to have that basic stick figure understanding of how to draw a tree before you can go and draw the amazing tree. So when it comes to marketing, which is what we're essentially doing here, trying to get a client, trying to get an inquiry, you have to remember that, or understand rather, that only 2% of your audience is ready to book a session. So why hammer the 2% like day in, day out? You don't need to be hammering the 2%. They will book when they're ready. They're probably already sussing you out. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't worry about posting to them. It doesn't make any sense really to be posting to them. I would be posting to the other 98%. and, speaking to them, meeting them where they are at, because they're the ones that are going to move into a stage of readiness over time. But there's a process they need to go through before they're going to be ready to book an appointment, whether that's with you or anybody. So it doesn't make any sense that you're posting to people who are already to book an appointment, because it's just 2%. We need to be posting to the other 98. So do you see what I mean? Like, if you don't know that, then all your marketing is going to people to get the appointment now. And it just doesn't work. When people say, go and check your insights, I think that that's a great piece of advice. I would definitely go and check your insights, but I wouldn't be checking for likes, comments, follows. I'd be checking for how long somebody watching your video. I mean, considering with a reel, like Instagram considers somebody looking at that reel for 5 to 10 seconds high quality. I mean, we're living in a time now where it's really hard to get somebody's attention, and Meta knows that and recognizes that and says, do you know what, congratulations, wacko, you got somebody's attention for 5 to 10 seconds, well done you, that's amazing, we're going to give you a little bit of extra reach. Even in my community, the Ultimate Private Practice community, it's an online space on Facebook. If you're not in it, you can come, it's free. But in there, I ran a poll recently asking people, oh no, I wasn't running a poll asking people anything. My head says one thing, my mouth says another. I put a post up a couple of weeks ago saying how I was, so frustrated. I was bemoaning the fact that I was on a CPD and somebody dragged this thing out to, an hour or more when it really could have been done in just a few minutes. And other people started commenting like, oh, yes, this, it's so frustrating when you've got to sit through stuff for a whole hour when it could have been said much more quickly, which is why, I've always done bite-sized trainings in my communities and, in a lot of my courses, all the trainings like 10 minutes or less, because I know people don't have time, and to capture their attention is really important. So yeah, look for the metrics in the insights that are speaking to duration, like watch period, video views, even on YouTube, you get rewarded if somebody watches your video for like a really low amount of time. Like, this is just what we're dealing with. So again, having those insights and those metrics will help you understand what content to create for your audience, because you'll start to see what they respond to the most and what they're engaging with the most, what they're spending the most time with. But also, if you do want to do things like videos or reels, you also know, okay, interesting. Most of my clients, or most of my audience, click out after the first 15 seconds. Now you know what you need to say in those first 15 seconds. You've got to say something that's going to keep them watching, right? So you've got to say something really relevant. And yeah, there's a process for that as well. But think about yourself when you've clicked on someone's reel. How long did you watch it before you clicked out? Why did you click out? Probably because it got boring or something like that. All right. Somebody else was just sort of saying, share your live videos, make them public. They're already public. They should be if it's a business page. You could grab the link from the video on the business page and share it in communities, or share it on your Facebook profile and things like that. You could do that. Videos only stay on Facebook now for 30 days though. So I would say go to Google Chrome, download an extension called, what is it? I think it's called Facebook Download Helper or Facebook Downloader or something. And download your videos and put them on a platform that won't kick them off after 30 days. So, turn them into a reel perhaps and upload them to Instagram, or go over and start yourself a little YouTube channel and go and upload your amazing videos over to YouTube and build up a library over there for people to go and watch. Okay. Somebody else recommended using personal profile for work more than a business page. I think that is a great idea. I do that. But what I notice is that if I go and put a post up that's obviously about the business, barely anyone will read it, watch it, open it, engage with it, all of those kinds of things. So you have to also put human things in there. And I think don't make it obvious all the time. I think putting obvious things sometimes is going to help, because for me anyway, birds of a feather flock together. So I know if somebody's not following my business page, and maybe they're not in my online community, but they are, friends with me on my Facebook profile, I know from time to time I can throw something up there and it will be helpful for them to see it, but I wouldn't make a practice of it. All right. With TikTok, I don't recommend that for counselors for all the reasons. Again, it's probably a whole other video. I just wouldn't. I have issues with TikTok as well around privacy, and I understand, I could be wrong, but I understand that there might be other issues around it as well in Australia. So yeah. But anyway, if you want to get clients from your Facebook business page, understand a couple of things. It's got nothing to do with the amount of followers that you've got. It's got nothing to do with the number of likes. It has everything. It has nothing to do with how many times you post. It has everything to do with what you're posting. And you only need, I call it a hero post, but you only need one hero post. A hero post to me is something that is maybe a little bit longer, like not just one or two sentences and some hashtags. It's like a proper post, and it's you just being real with your clients. So I would do just one of those once a week. And if you wanted to put something else either side of it, go for it. But make those other things relevant, a little bit lighter and skimmable, like quite easy to digest. Also, when you're creating posts, it's really important that, again, they're optimized. So one of the reasons that your posts may not be getting as much reach as they could is if you're going into ChatGPT and generating content and then just copying and pasting it. The reason is because Meta values original content. So it will show original content to more people than it will, AI created. So that's really important. But also a longer post that really connects with your ideal client, the people that you want to be speaking to, will be remembered. And that's the key, right? I think if you don't understand how to post, you go down that rabbit hole of, it's like you're trying to draw that complicated tree without knowing how to draw the stick figure version first. So a post that will get you inquiries and bookings, or if you've got digital products, maybe like a PDF or an ebook or something like that you're trying to sell, or a ticket to one of your events and things like that, it's really got to connect. It needs to meet your client where they are. It needs to show them that you get it. It needs to be relatable. It needs to show that you understand, what their concerns are about maybe getting started, or what maybe even speak to the costs for them socially, emotionally, relationally, all those kinds of things, of delaying getting help for longer, stuff like that. And then there should always be a call to action. And I would avoid always saying book now, because there's only 2 people out of every 100 that are ready to book, and they might not want to book with you. I would be speaking to the 98 out of every 100 that are curious. They're like sussing you out, and I would have a more tame call to action. It might be like, if this was interesting, you might like to go and read my blog over here where I talk about it a little bit more, or I break it down on my YouTube channel. Here's the link. Or let me know your thoughts. I mean, actually, even saying let me know your thoughts might be too much of a stretch for some people, depending on your niche. But I would try softer calls to action, because remember, people are hesitating. They're hesitating. So we want to actually give them the experience of safety. Nearly all of you say on your website that you provide the safe space, but you don't provide it on your Facebook business page, which is why you don't get clients. So this is about you understanding how to write a Facebook business page post. So as I said, the one that I used in my training, I got 6 inquiries from, which is mega for a Facebook business page. And they all came in within 24 hours. And they came in through different ways. I didn't share it on Instagram. Look, to be entirely honest with you, I don't know. Like, I heard someone, I was watching a show the other day. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but they were like saying, it was a show called, it was a series on Apple TV Plus, and it was called Disclaimer, and it was so, so good. And it had Kevin Kline in it, and I won't give it away. Don't worry, I'm not going to do spoiler alert or anything like that. But he was trying to set up an Instagram account, and somebody much younger was trying to help him. And he was saying that he wanted to set up a Facebook page. But the guy who was helping him said, no, that's for old people. You need to set up an Instagram page. So maybe I'm just old. But I just can't. I don't know. Instagram, I'll put stuff there from time to time, but for me, it's Facebook that works. So I tend to do nearly everything on Facebook. But the reason I'm telling you that is because the post didn't go anywhere other than the Facebook business page. And I got, as I said, 6 inquiries. Of those 6 inquiries, 3 went onto the Practice Momentum waitlist. So, and it was just from a post where I was just being myself. That's it. And I was speaking from the heart about something. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't worry about the vanity metrics. They have no correlation whatsoever in the amount of inquiries that you're going to get. But you know now how to do the stick figure version of posting on the Facebook business page. Would I recommend it? Well, if you were my client, I would say, yes, have a Facebook business page, post on it once or twice a week. Make sure that you've got a hero post on there and maybe something else that's a little bit lighter, but don't have big expectations of getting clients from it. And then I would say go and focus on your website. Let's dive into that and have a look at why you're not getting inquiries, why people aren't booking. Let's get that fixed first, because once we fix that, then you can loosen your grip on doing all of the things with your socials, and it will just make your life so much easier. And you will have, as I said, like when it's a constant and steady feed of inquiries coming through, it takes the burden off you having to do more of the marketing, because the website is now doing its job. So get the website happening first. If the website's happening and it's working, then go and start socials. All right. I think people think, just go and start socials because it's easy. It's easy when you know what you're doing. If you're doing it and it's not converting, then it's not easy and it's not worth your time. It's a sign that you need some kind of support around it. And that's usually going to be skills or education or mindset, or a combination of all 3. Yep. Anyway, so I hope that this was helpful. Also, welcoming in 8 new people to the DCS. We had a supervision session yesterday that was fire. Like, it was just so good. Oh my gosh. The DCS is like such a little exclusive, private, tiny little community. It's just a beautiful space, and it was just so powerful to hear everybody's stories, to hear the gains, to hear the progress, but also to hear too some of the common struggles and be able to see each other support through it. It was just lovely. It's a total vibe. I love the DCS. I don't know when I'm going to open it again. I mean, it was 12 months since I opened it before. It's probably going to be another 12 months, but I don't know. I haven't written out my 90-day plan for quarter 3 yet, but so I don't even know if it's on the agenda or quarter 4. So we'll see how that goes. In terms of 90-day planning, I just want to share with you, I am on to day, just going to double check, make sure I say it correctly. I'm up to day 26 of making the 100K roadmap. And yeah, I think now almost everything is coming to a conclusion in terms of the setup. So I think it's fair to say month 1 has been about, bringing the practice right back to like the ground, like leveling it and then building it back with foundations that will generate that 100K on repeat every 90 days. There's still work for me to do. So some of the work that's on my agenda over the next 4 or 5 days is, well, this isn't really going to build the practice, but it's just like on my to-do list. I'm making a portal for Practice Momentum because at the moment what's happening is I'm creating customized tools and resources for each of the women in there. And now as we're moving along, some of the women are saying, hey, I think I need this, or I've got this problem here. And I'm like, oh, I've got a tool for that. And it would just make sense if I gave them access to all of those tools so that they can just go and pick and mix as they like. So I think what I might do is still do customized ones, but put the ones that I've already made into a portal. So I'll just do that for them. I'll do it in Thrivecart. I'm pretty sure I can get most of that done hopefully in the next day or 2, praying for hyperfocus to kick in. I'm not in hyperfocus at all. Last week I was definitely in hyperfocus. This week it's been like, I don't know. I really just would rather Netflix and chill today. So there's that. The other things that I need to do are, of course, fix all my funnels. I do believe in funnels, so I've got to fix my funnels. Fixing them just means I saw, I don't know. I don't want to make this sound complicated. You don't have to do this. If you want to do it, I will give you what I did, so don't worry. But yeah, I used HTML code. I told you it was going to sound scary, but don't worry. I can give you mine. You could just copy and paste it and I'll show you how to use it. But I used HTML code in one of my upsells, and then I tested my upsell during the week and I saw that I didn't really like the presentation, so I had to go in and change it. But I've got that same upsell on a bunch of my things, so I've got to go in and change the HTML. As I said, you never have to use HTML. The reason that I did it was because I just wanted a little bit more control over what I was doing, and I was just feeling like a smarty pants at the time, and I was just like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Also, somebody told me that HTML was really hard and I could never do it, and so I kind of felt like I had an axe to grind. So yeah, I've got to do that. The other thing that I need to do in terms of my roadmap is I need to update my waitlist copy, or my waitlist. It's not really a sales page because it's a waitlist, but you know what I mean. Like, I need to update that, and I need to update the actual sales page for the certification. And so they will help me get to the 100K, because that's launching the end of the month or in June. I haven't decided which. And I'm also upgrading. So I'm giving the certification another upgrade. So do you know what? There are still people in PP 101 and right since the beginning, and they have stayed with me, and it's like going into year 4 now. And yeah, I'm just so thankful, and it just makes me so happy when, you know, they share in the comments, oh my gosh, we just got another upgrade. Thank you. And I really love to send them the email going, hey, you just got an upgrade. So done that. The other thing that I will do over the next few days, I know it's sounding like a lot, isn't it? So it's like essentially build out a course from scratch, rewrite the copy for a waitlist page that in a way that's going to convert, rewrite the sales page so it better aligns with the upgrade. And I guess before I do the waitlist or the sales page, I need to actually do the upgrade. And just upgrade a whole course. And the course has a lot of good content in it that I'm going to need to go through every single bit there. Plus, the other thing that I know works for me in terms of getting sales is, just that old thing of what gets seen gets paid. And since I've started my blogging experiment, of course, my website traffic has improved, which is great. I've got the podcast. The podcast does really, really well for me. If you don't have a podcast, I strongly recommend it. But again, you need to know what to talk about and how and all of the things, but it's not the things that you might be thinking about. Like, I've got music at the start and the end, but when I'm away, like I'm away next week again for a whole week, and I am going to get inspired to do a podcast, and I'll just like record it on Podbean and then hit publish, and it's not going to have the jingles. Like, I mean, you don't need to edit. I don't. The only time I ever edit is with situations that happen that I think you might find are annoying. For example, last time I was recording, we got deliveries, and so Buddy started barking. So then I had to hit stop, and then I just had to like delete the barking bit and then hit record again and pick up where the barking was. So that's really the only editing that I do. And you don't need to do a whole lot of stuff is what I'm saying. You don't need fancy equipment. You can get started. I just do it on my phone when I'm away. You don't need a computer. You don't need a laptop, all of the things, right? Absolutely. I would say if you don't have one, consider getting one, because it's a great way for you to speak with people without feeling pressured or rushed. Because when you're doing stuff on Instagram and socials, you're competing for attention, and your audience is just scrolling. They're just like flicking through things, flick. But when they listen to a podcast, they are usually in the headspace of settling in. So it's usually, with my audience anyway, with you guys, I know that you tell me that you like to listen on the weekend while you're doing stuff around the house, and you just leave it on in the background. Others say you listen to it while you're driving, right? So it works better for long form. It's called long form content because it goes for longer. So I think a podcast is great because it's long form content. You've got somebody's attention, or a lot of their attention, even if it's not 100%, but it also means you can give them more value than you can in other ways. And I think that that's always a good thing. So with my podcasts, I usually try and make sure that you're learning something, that you're leaving feeling like you know a little bit more than before you heard it. I try and include like something for your expansion. So it might be a coaching question or a set of coaching questions or a framework or a strategy or things like that. So, have an intention behind it. But I would say definitely go and start a podcast. Like, they're really a great way to help people get to know you, your style, who you are. And then what happens is when they are at a point where they're ready and they're moving from being in the 98 from 100 to the 2 in the 100, they reach out to you because you're top of mind. They feel connected to you. And when you speak with them, it's like you're already on the same page, and there's no pressure on you to sell anything or convince or do any of that kind of stuff, right? It just, I don't know, it's just like so much easier. It's like your ideal clients just, booking in inquiry calls all the time. It's really lovely. Anyway, I hope that this was helpful. I'm going to wrap this one up here now and go and record another one for you because I've got half an hour left before I've got to go and get Buddy Boo. And I want to take advantage of the time. Okay, have a beautiful rest of the day. I'll talk to you later. Bye. And that's a wrap for this episode of the Private Practice Podcast. So as you reflect on today's insights, imagine creating real success in your private practice without going down rabbit holes or exhausting yourself with business activities that don't move the needle. With Practice Momentum, you have push of a button help available on demand. It's like having an expert in your pocket ready to guide you whenever you need it. Visit brooklynstorm.com to discover how Practice Momentum can transform your approach to building a thriving practice. I'm Dr. Brooklyn Storm, and I'll see you next time as we continue exploring the mind, business, and spirit of private practice success.